What's going on, YouTube? Alright, so this video is about a surgery that I had 3 years ago. I just had a surgery a month ago for rotator cuff, and I just made a video of that, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make a quick video of the surgery I had 3 years ago. Anyway, the surgery was for a hemorrhoidectomy. Not something anyone wants to talk about, super embarrassing, but let's be real, most people in their lifetime are going to deal with it at one point or another, so this is it. I'm 38 now. I had the surgery when I was 35. I was dealing with hemorrhoids probably since my younger 20s. At that point, the hemorrhoids were internal. You know, I would put some cream on it every now and then. It wasn't that big of an issue. Towards my later 20s, I had the hemorrhoids start to prolapse. Like every time I would go to the bathroom, they would come out. Then it started to get a little bit annoying, but still it didn't come with much pain until one day the hemorrhoid became thrombosed. It got extremely swollen, and I don't know the science behind it. It basically became like very hard and very tender, and it was excruciating pain. It was bad. I remember that pain lasted for like 2 weeks. I had to take hot baths and put cream on it. I could barely do anything at that point. And eventually that simmered down, and that, you know, thrombosed hemorrhoid was, you know, got back to just being a normal one, where every time I went to the bathroom, I would manually have to push it back up, which is kind of, I guess, gross, but it's what you have to do. Because when the hemorrhoids are hanging down, you know, and they're stretching down, it's very painful. So you push them back up, and then hopefully your muscles down there are strong enough to keep them up there. And then through my 30s into my mid 30s, at this point it was just so advanced, and it's been such a problem for so long. The hemorrhoid, every time I went to the bathroom, would just come out, and no matter how many times I tried to take care of it and push it back, it wouldn't go back. It would just stay out. And it got to the point one day where I was at work and I just had to leave. I had to go to the doctor. Now, back in my mid-20s, I had a rubber band ligation or litigation, whatever it's called. They put little rubber bands on it. That really didn't work for me. But this time I went to the doctor, and he took a look at it, and he was blown away. He's like, wow, he said, you need to go to a specialist. So I went to a specialist the next day. Luckily, there was an opening. And I went to the specialist, and he pulled me in there, and he made a joke, and he's like, oh, you're a little young to be in here, aren't you? You know, everyone in the waiting room was like 60 years old or whatever. So he put me in on the bench, and he's like, let's see what you got going on. And he took one look, and he was like, whoa, dude. He was blown away. He was like, you know, he's like, I've been looking at buttholes for a long time, and I never seen one like this before. I was like, wow, makes me feel special. But long story short, he set me up for emergency. Well, it wasn't emergency. Maybe it was emergency. I don't know. He set me up for surgery 2 days later. At that point, there was nothing else they could do for me but to remove the hemorrhoids. So 2 days later, I had surgery on it. I was very nervous. It was my first surgery ever. Surgery was to go as expected. You know, you're waiting around a lot, and then, you know, you're given anesthesia. You don't feel anything during the surgery, and then you're done. They won't let you leave the hospital until you can pee, which was not easy to do. I actually think I lied just to get out of there to go home. I couldn't pee. You know, it just, there's so much happening down there with the surgery. Your bladder just won't allow you to pee. And I remember that being a problem the entire rest of the day into the night. I could not pee. As embarrassing as it may sound, the first time I was able to pee was soaking in a hot sitz bath. I had to pee in the tub. It's embarrassing, but what are you going to do? Hot baths are probably the only thing that saved me during the first week. Surgery, after surgery, the pain is intense. Every time you got to go to the bathroom, it's probably the worst pain I've ever felt. And a lot of people won't take stool softeners, or they won't take laxatives, so they get constipated, and that is only going to make your life a living hell. So if you're doing surgery, make sure you eat a fibrous diet and stool softeners, because you want to be able to just let the poop go without using any muscles, because when it's coming out with all that work that got done, it's going to hurt. Trust me. You're going to have to brace yourself. It gets easier probably week 2. By week 3, it's not so bad. And by the 4th week, you should be back to work like normal, and things are pretty good. I would say it took about 3 months total for me to be like, I'm 100%. And now, like 3 years later, like honestly, it was the best thing that I could have done. Like, if you have problems, get the surgery done. Don't live every single day in pain or embarrassed or whatever. Just get it done, get it over with, and get on with your life. Like, my butt is great now. It really is. And I'm a truck driver, by the way, and through the whole process, through my 20s, I'm 38 now, I've always been a truck driver. So for me, I could not work. I had to collect short-term disability for a month after the surgery. But then I was back driving again. It's a little uncomfortable for, another month while I was at work. You might get a lot of seepage or drainage as the wounds are still healing, and that's kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, so that's about it. It's definitely not a fun procedure. I'd be lying to you to say it was easy. It's very painful, but it's worth it. So get it done. All right? Check you later.